right, guys. So if you haven't been on Zoom for a hot minute, pin me to the main screen so then when people log in and log out, you just see my beautiful face. You're welcome. I put on a little extra mascara for today, but this is as good as it gets, guys. I'm going gray. I like it. I'm embracing it. This is, you get me. And then I realized that you guys really don't choose Twiniversity because of my good looks. It's more for my education and personality that people come for. So I feel a little bit better about that when I convince myself that that's what it is. But yeah, I'm really stoked. So before we even get started, welcome, welcome, welcome. This and boot camp, out of all the classes I teach, are definitely my favorite. I'll give you the dates of all those two, but know that Twiniversity pretty much has a class almost every Monday. So I'll give you the dates so you could start writing those down. But you'll get all the notifications for us anytime we're teaching and all that stuff. But I'm going to kind of jump right in because that's how I roll. I know that a lot of you are probably on your lunch break. So thank you for joining me on your lunch break. I'll try to keep it within our time limit. But if anybody has to run, know that I don't take it personal. I know that you guys love me forever. So do what you got to do. You could always watch the replay later, but there are some things that are only going to be available to you guys that are here with me live right now. So let's jump right in. And if you guys do not know who I am, because I do realize that I am the worst at introductions, but I'm Nat. I'm Nat. I'm the big cheese here at Twiniversity. That is literally my legal title on my taxes. When it says, what is your title? I write big cheese. The government hates it. I don't give one crapola. So yes, because of that, I've been audited a few times and probably will get audited again this year. We'll see what happens. But I genuinely use the title big cheese because I don't know what I am. I do not fit into any categories, right? So I lined them up for you right there. So I am an author, a best-selling author, might I add. If you guys haven't read the Newborn Twin Sleep Guide, I strongly recommend that you get it and read it now during your pregnancy. It is not meant to be read when your kids are 5 months old. So basically, the whole reason why I wrote the book is that everybody's worried about sleep coaching and sleep training. However, the 2 years of living in newborn sleep land, I now know that if we play our cards right, you will never have to worry about sleep coaching, sleep training, any of that jazz. So it begins at the beginning. So in general, this is not like a big sales pitch for the book. It is fairly inexpensive. It is actually available at most libraries, so you don't even have to pay anything for it. But if you've read What to Do When You're Having to, and you like the style of my ADHD mind writing so that it's read on a toilet bowl at 3 o'clock, because that's literally the type of author that I am, know that the Newborn Twin Sleep Guide is written in that same style. So I am an author. I am a former CPST. I just found out that I let my certification lapse. I can't believe I did that. So I don't know if I'm going to renew because, in all sincerity, the audio is super low. So is it super low for everybody? So thumbs up if I'm super low for you. Okay. All right. I could try to fix that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me try. I definitely could fix that. All right. So let me go. Is that a little bit better? Is that better or worse? So thumbs up if it's better, thumbs down if it's super sucky. Nah, about the same. Okay, hang on. So let me go here. I know what I'm doing. What about now? Yes, welcome to using the correct settings on things. Someday, I'm only doing this 15 years. Maybe next year is the year that I get it all right. Okay, so now it's better. Thank you. So I just realized that I let my CPST certification lapse. I don't know if I'm going to renew it. I really use it more for the education, which I'm entitled to sit in on anyway, but I am. And so CPST is a child passenger safety technician, which is something that if you guys have not thought about doing, you should have your car seats inspected by a certified CPST. And you could go to safekids.org. I'll put it in here too, safekids.org. And you could literally say, I'm looking for somebody. I'm going to pop stuff in some notes here. But you literally are like, I'm looking for somebody in my area, but you should try. And I would say by week 30, is when you should probably have your car seats inspected. But I will tell you, hands down, 100%, my kids were never in a car seat that was installed correctly. No doubt about that. They are still alive. They are 20 years old. We live to tell, but I know I did it wrong, which is one of the reasons why I went and went through that whole process of getting certified, only to just forget to submit some paperwork. There you go. Good times, guys. Moral of the story, I do my best. But I am a certified IBCLC that I will not let lapse because that took me 2 years of my life to get that certification. But I am an international board certified lactation consultant. Yes, lactation consultants are not all made the same. An IBCLC basically is like the equivalent of having like our doctorate in boobs, is really what I describe it as. So it's more of a breastfeeding medicine clinician than just like, hey, let's get a good latch. Like you have to know the whole story behind it. I have exclusively worked with multiple birth families for the first 15 years of my career and only started working with singletons to get the clinical hours from my IBCLC. In addition to boobs, I'm also a childbirth educator. I am trained by Lamaze. Will we be delivering our babies by the natural brook behind your home? Odds are no. But if we had to, I could coach you through that whole thing. And most importantly, my favorite title, my number one in the whole wide world, is I'm a twin mom. Hence the gray hair, hence the battered eye twitch that I will get randomly. But my twinnies are, like I said, they're 20 years old. And truthfully, I don't know why people have one at a time. It's so boring. It's so lame. It's like, yes, I understand that that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Or it should be. But no, thank you. No, thank you to one baby at a time. I like the fast and furious, high paced, high adrenaline environment. That's what it is being a twin parent. As somebody with fairly significant ADHD, it was the one time that I said, thank you, Mother Nature, for blessing me with neurodivergence, because I could do 600,000 things at once. And the funny part is, I don't know if I was as a kid. I don't know if this is just what happened as becoming a twin mom, because we do have to have so many spinning plates in the air at the same time. This is our life. But ultimately, I swear to you, I would have it literally no other way. And I genuinely feel bad for singletons, like for real. Is anybody here a twin? Like literally themselves a twin? Pop in the chat if you're literally a twin, because I will be calling on you. Because I think we need to see as twin moms that it's pretty awesome being a twin. So not only is it a lot of work from us, but basically you get to have your best friend. You have to have a sleepover every single night with your bestie. Could you imagine? But because of that, they don't shut the F up when they need to go to sleep. So that's the bad part. But on the good news, on a rainy day, I never had to care if I wanted to go out or not, because I literally had my kids' play date right there delivered in that same batch. It was wonderful. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to cover quite a few things. It's going to be fairly fast paced. So if you can't keep up, I don't know, watch this later on YouTube and do it at half speed. But I want to cover a lot. I know that I'm going to get to all of these things today. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 4 things to do before your delivery day. We're going to talk about how you will know that you are in labor, because that's an important one, because not all of them have like that, oh, my water broke. That's not always the case. So we're going to talk some about that. We're going to talk about birthday preferences. This is what some people would call a birth plan, but we can't really have a plan because we have no idea what's going to happen. So we're going to talk about some things that you could do during your birthday to make it a little bit easier for yourselves. We're going to talk about really advocating. I have you and your twin, but like, honestly, it's supposed to say twins. I totally forget to correct that every time. But in general, it's going to be advocating more for them. And we're going to talk about that when we get there. We're going to talk about some recovery tips that are really going to be vital. And really, first and foremost, that introduction to 20s. So like, what are you going to do those first 24 hours? Okay. But before we even do that, if you guys haven't, like, I'm a super nerd, so I have mine printed. I kid you not. We do not make stuff at Twiniversity that we think is going to be a waste of your time. So the girls and I have put this together for us. It is literally pages and pages and pages of stuff that's specifically for your twins' delivery day. So right now, this happens, by the way, for literally anytime we have a boob camp. So a boot camp, but it's 50% off. So if you want to grab it, grab this link. I put the link in
when you first logged in, if you scroll all the way to the comments, you'll see that it's there too. But I'm going to be using this today. It's not mandatory by any means for you to use it, but I'm telling you, you will find it extremely, extremely helpful. So grab that if you can. All right. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of today's class, I really want to know, like, for you guys, what are you guys struggling with most? What is the one thing that is keeping you up at night today? Today, not what your stressor was last week, but what are you guys freaking about today? So throw it in the comments. You could share it just with me if you want to. You do not have to share it with everybody, but I ask you this for a few reasons. Number one, because I do want you guys to see that you're all kind of stressed about the same thing, but it's also a way for me to literally fine tune the class so that you guys get your questions answered. That's really what the point of it is. So we already see that we have issues that we're stressed about: the NICU, the vaginal and C-section. We're going to talk about that there. Ariana, I know one is head down. That is literally, we're not going to worry about positioning until the week before, pretty much. Oh, Lauren's got the bonus pair and a spare. Lauren, we actually have an entire Twiniversity class called Twins plus Singletons. So if you guys have an older kid and you're worried about how to get them kind of used to having the idea of twinnies, I strongly recommend that you take a look at that. We have one twin that's measuring smaller. Tandem breastfeeding. Erin, you're definitely going to want to register for Bootcamp, which is a separate class. We'll talk a little bit about breastfeeding though today, so don't worry. Magnolia, by the way, best name in the whole wide world. My favorite tree, number one tree. But tandem breastfeeding, we're not going to worry about that now either. We're just going to worry about feeding one at a time, especially in the beginning. And yeah, really not wanting a C-section. Danielle, I feel you. Cassie, a bit away from being home in a hotel for 25 days for work. Oh, girl, we're going to work this all out together as a team and know that Twiniversity, we don't stop here. We pretty much have 24-hour support for you guys. So whether you want to slide into any of our DMs, but literally the Twiniversity team, this is not a joke. Our entire Twiniversity team is made up of twin moms. I'm not saying that I require it for you to work for Twiniversity, but it may be preferred because you need to walk the walk. So know that anybody who's answering your questions on Insta, on YouTube, on Facebook, know that literally it's one of us. Right. And so if they have a question, odds are they're going to guide you to an article on Twiniversity. But if you are not in the regular habit of reading articles on Twiniversity or listening to our podcast, you really should, because there is no place, I know this as fact, there is no place on this planet that works with more twin families than us. We now reach upwards of 2 million people a week in over 100 different countries. We're translated into over 60 languages a day. So we are not effing around. But at the end of the day, our goal is to support you. And we can't do that until you tell us what you need. So know that everything is there on the Twiniversity website. There's a little magnifying glass. Click on that, put in any topic that's stressing you out, and you're going to find something. All right. So we're going to talk a lot about these things today. So what I want to jump into, though, is I want to talk about the important things that you need to do before delivery day. Okay. Now, if you can, you do. But if you can't, don't be like, oh, my God, I can't do this. Nat said that I have to do this. Calm down, relax, take a breath. Okay. And so the first thing that I need you guys to do is I need you to pack your hospital bags. I want your hospital bags packed by week 30. All right. Everybody says that's too early. No, it's not. Because let me tell you, nothing good happens after week 30. Even if we go to 40 weeks with our 20s, you are not really going to be, what's the word? Comfortable. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. So your body gets bigger and bigger, of course, as your pregnancy progresses. And once you hit kind of that 30 week, it starts to get a little bit worse. Let's not forget that these little rodents that are growing inside your womb right now are literally displacing your whole freaking organ system that's in your abdomen. So nothing gets more comfortable. Nobody ever says, oh, I breathe so much easier at 32 weeks at twins. Or nobody says, oh, I could eat bigger meals when I was 34 weeks pregnant. That's not a thing, kids. So we have to say hard stop week 30. We're going to get the hard shit done. And then After that, it's all the good, all the hard stuff is out of the way. So packing your hospital bag is one of them. So now in general, right? And if I go to our workbook, not only do we have a packing list for you, but I have a whole separate packing list for your partner because I don't want to hear them say, why didn't you put this in the bag? I'll go into a murderous rage if I ever heard a partner say that you forgot something in a hospital. Literally, there's going to be a new patient in labor and delivery. And we don't want that to happen, guys, because I don't be fooled by the last name. I'm actually a super hot blooded Italian. So, although honestly, the Puerto Rican side, they're not really that calm either on that side of the family. So, yeah, there's no winning. But I will go into a rage if I ever hear your partner say, oh, I thought we were going to pack this. So, by week 30, your bags have to be packed. The important things that you need, okay? Most of the stuff that you want, that's a different word, you're going to have at the hospital. So you may want a different type of maxi pad. You may want a nursing gown. You may want some hair ties, but in general, anything that you need, the hospital will provide. It's not going to be ideal, but it's going to be better. So what do I want you to have? I would love if you had some type of maternity nightgown, but don't put it on until after the babies are here for a few hours. All right. Because if you're like, oh, I'm going to wear it in labor and delivery, you're going to have some schmutz on it and it's going to be gross. So just wait to change, use the hospital gowns in the beginning, and then change into a nice labor gown or post-labor gown or nursing gown after the babies are here and after you're out of recovery. Okay. Typically, they don't allow you to do that until later, but it really depends. If there are still some hospitals within the US and certainly abroad that allow you to wear whatever you want during your labor process. Because of that, wear the laundry that they're going to do until the babies are here for a few hours and then change into your cute little outfits. And also, it's not just cute, it's also comfy. But when you're buying your maternity nightgowns, try to get ones that have either like ties or snaps on the shoulder. Okay, that way, if you have to have an EKG or they need to give you some other type of monitoring, or let's say you even have an IV still run, you're able to literally change your outfit without having to call a nurse to come change that IV. Okay, so it has to have some kind of openings on the shoulder so that you could literally unsnap and snap. Okay. All right, we got that. Next thing that I want you to bring, this sounds kind of crazy and this is a little unorthodox, and these are the things that you're not going to find on other people's lists. I'm not wasting your time. You could literally Google, go to baby list and go steal their shit. I'm just telling you the stuff that I want you to have. I want you to bring some pillowcases from home. Okay, don't bring a pillow from home. Bring a pillowcase from home, because hospitals, if you have, how many of you guys put into the chat right now? How many of you guys have never spent a night in a hospital? Like literally, I want to see, like, have you never, whether you broke your clavicle when you were 7 and you were jumping off your bunk beds, but how many of you have never been there? Okay, so I'm telling you right now, the clinical scent and the environment of a hospital is the opposite of relaxing. Right? Nobody's there like, oh, this is my spa. We're not going to a spa. You're going to a freaking hospital. So bringing little touches from home, like having a softer pillowcase that smells like your laundry detergent, that smells like your dryer sheets, is going to make you so much happier. Don't bring a pillow because I don't want you guys carrying extra shit, period, the end. It's too much. You're going to just bring a pillowcase, put it over their pillow, and you're good to go. Okay. It's something stupid, but for all of you who have never been in a hospital, you will be so much happier. The next thing is bring Post-its, literally just freaking Post-its, because you could put a note on the door that says, Mama's getting some rest. Please only come in if medically essential. Because I know that they come in to do vitals at 4 a.m. Could you stop billing my insurance, guys? Could you just let me sleep? Right? So you're allowed to say only essential procedures do not come in for any other reason. Or if I press my Jeopardy buzzer, right? The little red button that they give you, you're allowed to tell them that you want to rest. That is a viable thing to say. Also, despite the fact that your hospital may be like baby friendly, which by the way, that is such a bullshit term. Baby friendly is not mom friendly. I challenge anybody to tell me anything but that. But if you need to have some rest and you need to send your 20s to the nursery, there's always some place to send them. Okay. And that way you put the note on the door that's like, if the babies are hungry, come in. You literally work out with your nurses, but having some post-its are great. Also, if you're in a hospital where lactation is not coming to see you quick enough, you're going to tell your mom, your sister, your partner, go stick a post-it on the door of the lactation consultant and be like, hey, it's Nat in room 517. I just had twins. I could really use some help. I will tell you, we are suckers for that. You will be first on the list, despite the fact of how many people we had to see. If you went out of your way to find my office, I'm coming to see you first. Okay. Morally, is that right? I don't know. But you know what? Hey, we do our best, guys. But like, if we ever feel that like a parent is really struggling, we will put you guys at the top of the list. So we got that. The next thing is, bring a tablet with you. If you're going to be making a lot of virtual calls, a lot of Zooms, a lot of FaceTime so that your family could see everybody, seeing it on an iPhone really sucks. So bringing something with a larger screen is really going to make you happier. If you want bonus, you could actually buy an HDMI cable that goes from your iPhone to the TV. You could see your family on the TV in the room, and then they could see you from your iPhone. Okay. So I know that sounds weird, but sometimes we spend a little bit of extra time in the hospital, right? And if that's the case, I want us to be able to do all the introductions if we can. But truthfully, that should be last on the list of like meeting the family. Like, you got to put your oxygen mask on first. Very cliche, but very, very true. Okay. The next thing is, it sounds stupid, but bring snacks. Now, am I just a fat bastard? Absolutely, I am. Does that mean that I want you guys to eat something? I do. There's the Italian girl talking, by the way. So know that if you delivered at 2:00 in the morning, the kitchen's not open. Do I have any Australians here right now? Because I'm going to tell them something about the way that we have babies in Australia. If I have any Aussies, pop in the chat and let me know that I have an Aussie here. But in Australia, the kitchen is literally open 24 hours a day and food is made to order for new moms. So if you're like, I want some salmon with some asparagus at 4:00 in the morning, that's exactly what you get. Here in the United States, we're lucky if we get a turkey sandwich that's been sitting on the counter for 15 minutes. Sarah, please move before the babies get here. Thank you so much, because seriously, that's the place to have a baby. That's the country. But know that if you deliver in the middle of the night, odds are that you are not going to be able to get any type of food. So you're going to be really hungry. And after, especially if you had a C-section and you had an epidural and all that stuff, if you had not eaten for 12 to 24 hours before your delivery, nobody gives a shit that you haven't eaten for 12 to 24 hours. And you're going to be like level, I'm going to eat this furniture. I'm gnawing through the walls. I'm eating the insulation. It's going to be bad. So packing the little cups of peanut butter, packing an apple or two. Don't do that until the last minute, but you could usually get fresh fruit in a hospital pretty easy. But I would do some trail mix in the single serving bags. You could get those at Costco. There's a lot of things. Honestly, even M&Ms, like garbage food. Bring anything just so that you are not waiting for somebody to bring you something to eat. But ideally, it should be something fairly healthful and definitely with protein. So I always think about nuts and I think about trail mix and stuff like that. If you want, like if you had, this is like, I want you to just keep your bag in the trunk. But if you did, like some little hummus cups would be really nice. But just throwing those ideas out there. Okay. But you definitely want to have some snacks with you. It is one of the number one complaints that we get from Twiniversity moms is that they're starving at 3 a.m. after they just delivered their 20s. Okay. All right. So that's just some of the things as far as your partner goes. In addition, for there to be a whole list, it really is that I want them responsible for if you're going to have a birth plan. They're going to be the ones that carry that. If you are taking any types of medications or they are, you should bring your own medications with you to the hospital. Well, you're like, it's a hospital, Nat. Do I really need to bring my baby aspirin with me? Yes, you do. Because by the time that the doctor orders that for you, it might be too late for you. Like you may have already you usually take stuff at 7 a.m. or whatever. So you bring that with you. So your hubs and your partner, they have their own separate bag. And like I said, it should be a separate bag. Okay, I just said it. So I didn't say that before. But their bag and your bag should be separate because, like, hypothetically, if you go to recovery for like a day or two, which could very well happen, don't have them rummaging through your bag to get the stuff that they need. Let them have their own bag. And please, I beg you, nothing with freaking wheels. You're not going to Cabo. You're going to the hospital. So ideally, a bag that has a crossbody strap so that your partner could throw their bag on one side, your bag on another, baby in one hand, baby in another, and you're going to get to the car after delivery. So nothing with wheels, just literally crossbody bags. There is a bazillion of them on Amazon. I could send you guys a link to one of my absolute favorites. Right now it's on sale for $15. I just bought more of them because I literally, where is it? It's literally this guy. This is my favorite bag. And it's perfect. It's literally perfect. That's my boot bag. But I must have like wrecked my whole house. But literally, I have probably 4 of those right now. And I just bought the hot pink color. So I'm waiting on those. But those are on sale. But anything that has a nice crossbody strap. Okay. So moving along from hospital bags, I also need you guys to take your hospital tour. How many of you guys, show of pause or pop in the chat, how many of you know that your hospital does or doesn't offer a hospital tour? So put they do, they don't, they do, they don't. I want to know if they do, because I would like, ideally, I want to see who does, who doesn't. All right, we got some virtual ones, we got some don'ts, we got some do's. Now, guys, I do think that this is an important one, and this is not a singleton thing. This is a twin thing. So singletons, good luck to you, previous singleton families. Welcome to your new world. But why I want you to know, and Alice, that's BS. That's not for C-section patients. So like, I would go fight with him. Not saying that you're BS, but like, seriously, it's bullshit if they're like, oh, we only offer it for these families. First of all, you don't know the type of delivery that you're going to have unless your hospital has a philosophy that we always deliver twins via C-section. If that's the case and you don't want a C-section, guess what time it is? Time to find a new hospital, I think is what I heard everybody reply to me. So I want you to take a hospital tour and specific things that I'm going to actually go to my chart so that I know that it's here. But there are specific things that I want you to do to look for on your hospital tour. So why I want you to take a hospital tour is one of the biggest is in the UK, but still, Alice, I want you to have it. The reason why is it is really confusing your delivery day. And I want you to know where things are in your mind's eye. So I want you to first know, where the hell are you going in to this hospital? Are you going in through the ER or are you going straight to labor and delivery? And are you going straight to labor and delivery if you're X amount of weeks? Like, let's say hypothetically, you started feeling contractions and you were 24 weeks. Are you going to the ER for that or right to labor and delivery? It's funny because I bet you a lot of you don't even know that yet. And yet we should know that. And the other thing that I want you to know is, are we going into the same location at 2 a.m. as we are at 2 p.m.? So post-COVID, hospitals just went weird and nobody kind of went back to normal, whatever normal was. So there are some hospitals that say, well, we closed down the labor and delivery door, so you have to come through like the main entrance of the hospital. I don't want you having to figure out what entrance of the hospital you're going to go into if you're being dropped off at 2 a.m. because your water broke. So that's a big one. So where the heck are you going into this hospital? Okay. The next thing that I want you to know is, where is labor and delivery in relation to where would you actually be delivering? Are you actually delivering in a labor and delivery room, or are you definitely delivering in an operating room despite whether you're having a C-section or not? Most hospitals opt to have twins be delivered in an OR, and it has nothing to do with them worried about baby A or baby B. It has to do with the volume of staff necessary for a twin delivery is often a little bit more than a typical labor and delivery room could accommodate. So find out, where is the C-section, like where could you have a C-section in relation to labor and delivery? Where is the operating room in relation to labor and delivery? So that's the next phase. Then the phase after that is recovery. Where's the recovery room? Is it on the same floor? Are we going to a different section of the hospital? is there a women's section or is there a new mom section? Like, do all women, like if you're having a hysterectomy or a uterine cyst removed, are you in the same spot if you're having a baby? Right? Because there's some hospitals that are a little bit smaller that have like a women's floor. Are you guaranteed to share a room if you have to share a room? Are you going to be sharing a room with another person that delivered? Or could you have just been sharing a room with somebody who did have that ovarian cyst removed? So things that I want you to just know ahead of time. Then on that, where, if we do want a private room, how do we get that? Like, could we order it ahead of time? Could we say, okay, well, I have a C-section scheduled on this day. I'd like to try to get a private room. Interestingly enough, even though we may have like a planned C-section date, most hospitals will not let you book a private room until everybody has been delivered. Because even if your C-section is planned for 7 a.m., if something happened and they had 3 emergencies besides that, you may not actually deliver on the day that you're supposed to deliver, which means that the hospital lost the money for that room that day. And trust me, at the end of the day, they're all about the bottom line. I would love to say there that you are their priority. You're not. Your money is their priority, as is most hospitals. And I can't get mad at that. I just want to be healthfully delivered. Call it a day. Okay. So we got recovery. Then after recovery, where do we go after recovery? And I see your idea and I challenge you. Do the babies get to stay with you in recovery? Or do the babies have to go someplace else? So if the babies did have to go someplace else, where is the nursery? Where is the NICU? Because when you're in recovery, I want you to see the NICU in your mind. Whether it's that you did a virtual tour or that you did a tour in real life, I want you to know where your kids are. Because it's uncomfortable because you get turned around, like literally physically are going to be turned around 15 times. They're going to wheel you here, wheel you there. You're in a wheelchair, you're on a gurney. It gets complicated. So where are you going in? Where are you going to labor? Where is the OR? Where is recovery? Where's the postpartum floor? Where's the nursery? Where's the NICU? Those are the important things that I want you to know. Okay. And it really is to ease any anxiety or discomfort that you feel on that day, because you will always know where your kids are going to be and where you are in that hospital. Okay. All right. Still, fast forward 20 years, still really creeped out that I had no idea where the NICU was after my babies were delivered. And the babies went down to the NICU. What does that mean? They're in the basement? I had literally no clue where my kids were. And I found it super duper unsettling. And also because I was in recovery I was in there for a bit. So I did not have a great delivery. And I'm not saying that to frighten any of you, but the moral of the story is I'll drink to that because I'm doing great today. So even with my shitty delivery, I am okay. But I want you to know where everything is so that you could feel as comfortable as possible. And I just want you to have an easier day. Okay. So those are some of the important things that I want you to find out about your hospital. But once again, in our delivery day workbook, I mean, there must be 40 things on this list in front of me. All right. Now next, because I'm doing speed round. Okay. Insurance company. Oh, I can't right now with insurance companies. Literally, if anybody knows anybody that works for Cigna, please message me. They're on my shit list this week. So hopefully they're going to get off of it soon. But Cigna is being really super weird when it comes to lactation services. So forget about that. We'll talk about that for Bootcamp. But right now, I do need you to call your insurance company. There are important things that you need to know. Like A, how do you get your free pump? And are they going to say, hey, you get this one free pump, call it a day? Well, did you know that many twin families are able to get 2 free pumps? Because some insurance companies have a pump per pregnancy and some have a pump per live birth. See what we did there? So if we get a pump per live birth, get yourself 2 really good ones and do not buy the freaking wearables. I beg you, everybody here now, do not get wearable pumps until your milk is established. All right. So literally get yourself a Spectra, get yourself a Medela, get yourself a Lancino. There are bazillions of good pumps out there. Get yourself a good one, but don't get wearables until your mature milk is here. And even after that, I will probably have an intervention with you about not to use those 2. Okay. But for now, especially with twinnies, we cannot F around. We cannot really, like, we can't mess with that supply. So you need to not only get these pumps, but if you find that you need a different size flange, that is covered by insurance as well. So how do you go about getting the correct size flange? Once again, please join me for Bootcamp. We're going to talk about that. And I think actually we're going to create a whole pumping class, like separately on pumping and separately on all that shit, because seriously, I could talk about that for an hour alone. But when it comes to insurance, you're going to ask about your pump. Okay. The next thing that I want you to ask about when it comes, the reason that you could get to is if your insurance says you get a pump per live birth. So some of them say pregnancy, some of them say live birth. So you read that, because if it says per live birth and they're like, well, you get one pump, and don't get upset and be like, no, that's not what the paperwork says. So always go in and check to see specifically what your plan covers. Okay. The other thing is that you want to find out about those lactation services. Okay. Do you have to go in network? Could you go out of network, right? If you want to work with me virtually, I'm 100% in. I'm in right now with United Healthcare and in with Aetna. And of course, with anybody else that has any of lactation coverages that have out of network, I'm clearly part of that. But you do want to start figuring out what you're going to do for postpartum lactation care. You do not want to start looking while the babies are here. Okay. Like today, I have a 4:00 prenatal with somebody. So already we're going to set her up. We're going to get it. But this is what I do. So literally, I have about 18 office hours a week. That is just for my Twiniversity families. I still work with singletons. Long story, I can't get out of it. I'm in a tailspin when it comes to working with singletons, but I would prefer to only work with twinnies. So I do want you to book a one-on-one prenatal with me so we could work on some flange sizing and we could just get you set up. But you should have that lined up before you deliver. Do not start looking for people after the babies are here. Okay. So we got to get that set up. The next thing is weirdly, once the babies are born, how do we put them on insurance? Right? They're going to need insurance immediately. Now, the funny thing is if you and your partner have different insurance policies, do you know that the hospital is going to pick the oldest partner and randomly put them on that plan, even if that's not what you intended? So you have to specifically tell the hospital the babies are going on this plan. And I need you to call your insurance and say, how do we put the babies on this plan? But it's fascinating to me how many times people are like, oh, I have to call the insurance company. Believe it or not, there are some insurance companies that literally require you to call and be like, hey, I just had the babies. I have to get them on the plan. A lot of times people think that the hospital takes care of it. Not always. It depends on your plan. So I don't want you to have to stress about that if that's the case, or have to change the babies from one policy to another if you don't want them on your partner's plan, if you should have separate. Okay. All right. There's a whole other section that I have to say. If you have any birth trauma, any diastasis that your muscles aren't going back together, any type of like a lot of issues, like let's say you had like multiple stitches. Right now I'm working with a mom who fractured her pelvis during delivery. Now, she was just doing everything like a regular person. And I'm like, boo, you're entitled to a home attendant. You're entitled to in-home physical therapy. You're entitled to a visiting nurse. You guys, if your grandmother broke her hip, all these services would just be given to her. But yet for some reason, when we have a delivery that has some issues, they never tell us this shit. So it's going to be our responsibility to be like, oh my God, can I get a home attendant? Can I get a visiting nurse? Especially if you have a C-section. All right. So you could have a nurse come check on your C-section for wound care. That's a real thing. You're not playing the system. You're not looking for anything extra. These are things. If you had major abdominal surgery, you are entitled to these things. That's what a C-section is. I don't know why families aren't using the services that are provided from your health insurance if we could use them. Use what you can, especially if you have a C-section. Okay. So you're going to call your insurance company. And the next thing is, I want you guys to consider genuinely taking a Twiniversity class. whether it is our breastfeeding class, whether it's our expecting twins class, like we have these things for you guys. I didn't just make them for shits and giggles, although I did genuinely enjoy making all the classes, but also know that most Twiniversity classes are also covered by your insurance. So childbirth classes, breastfeeding classes, anything that is covered by your insurance. You could ask us for a super bill. So after you take your Twiniversity class and after you get your receipt, just literally message community@twiniversity.com and you ask Emily, who's the one that checks that, say, I need a super bill. She'll send you a super bill, which has to have like my licensure, our TIN number, all that good stuff. But you submit that to your insurance and you didn't have to pay for anything. Your insurance covers a lot and we don't hold their feet to the fire. And we really should, because you're entitled to a lot of services. I don't give a shit, by the way, whether you take it with Twiniversity or not. I just want you to feel ready. And your insurance company is helping you do that. But a lot of us don't read that fine print. And that's where I come in, because I read every insurance company's fine print. So I know what you guys are covering. Okay. All right. So another thing is cord blood. If you guys are going to bank your twins' cord blood, and we specifically put this in here, it's because you have to let your hospital know that you're banking your twins' cord blood. If you have not had a conversation about banking your twins' cord blood with your doctor, you should. I will tell you, most doctors will be adamantly against it and tell you it's a waste of time and that you should donate your twin stem cells. But I'll tell you, we're not allowed to donate our twin stem cells in the United States. If you go to bethematch.org, they do not accept twin family donors. I do not know why. I have tried to fight this now for 10 years. I cannot believe this. But basically, your stem cells are considered medical waste and they just go in the garbage. Now, I'm not saying bring your placenta home and let's plant a tree, although literally that's my number one comment on Goodreads is about how somebody called me a cannibal because I was like, you could placenta encapsulate, like it's an idea. And literally I have a mug in my kitchen that says, yuck, Mrs. Cannibal, because that's the title of the Goodreads review, my number one review of all time. Okay. So if you're going to donate, why I bring this up every single time is because I'm a freaking family that would have used my stem cells. So I am a huge cord blood advocate because I did not even know that that was a thing 20 years ago. And they've been doing this for way longer than 20 years. So if you're going to bank, the reason why we partnered with CBR, I've been working with them for, I don't know, at least 12 years, is because they do not collect payment until they know they have a viable transfer. Where there's actually another big cord blood company that weirdly is owned by a twin family. But they take the full payment up front and you don't know if you have a viable transfer. So we specifically work with CBR because there is no money exchange. I think maybe, truthfully, I'm lying to you. I think it's $150 just for the courier, but that's it. If they don't have a viable transfer, there's no cryopreservation, there's nothing. And why I also work with them is they have something called the Newborn Possibilities Program. So if you or your partner or your mother or your father or in-laws have specific genetic disorders, you could bank for free because they're trying to get more clinical research. So literally you Google CBR Newborn Possibilities Program and you see if you're one of those families that could bank for free. All right. And we always give, like for our grand prize, which I'll give you guys a link in a little bit, but know that for the grand prize, we always include free cord blood banking. Yes, it's for 20s. And you use the code DUO2 if you're going to ever bank. It is not a coupon code for me. I'm not like, I have my own relationship with CBR, but I'm not doing this to sell more for them. I'm doing it because I swear to you, I humbly regret not doing it. Because not only would I have used it for my son that had a particular disorder that could be treated by stem cells, but now my husband has a heart issue that they asked us if we banked our stem cells. I didn't even know. So now my husband could have even used it. So once again, day late, dollar short, I added to our Twiniversity curriculum. All right. Now, this is the class that I want you guys to consider taking. It is our on-demand class. There is over 100 video modules, no joke. You watch it at your leisure. You have it for 9 months. If for some reason it runs out and you still want it after the 9 months, you just tell us and we'll auto renew it. But that's the scan. Just click on the link. Just take your camera, put it to the screen. We're going to send it to you anyway, but it makes it $99. And I know your insurance covers $99 for a childbirth class. So you'll have no out-of-pocket expense as long as you guys are willing to do the paperwork, which is a pain in the butt. Okay. And if you're not, if you're in Aetna or UHC, message me and I may be able to do it even without you submitting any paperwork. Okay. So Aetna and UHC are my only two. All right. So, excuse me. How do we know when you're in labor? So you do need to be on high alert for certain things. Number one, if you have any contractions, okay? Now, the funny part is you're like, how the hell do I know what a contraction is? If you feel any uterine movement, okay? Yes, and we'll send it to you, E. We'll give you the class code. Here, I'll actually put this back on while I'm talking about contractions. But if you feel any uterine contractions whatsoever, which could be in your whole belly, all right? It's not that you're going to feel it all the way around. Sometimes people just feel it at the top, like a flutter. Sometimes you feel it at the bottom, almost like a period cramp, but sometimes it could be around the side too. A contraction is literally a contraction. Your whole uterus is going to compress, but it's one giant muscle, and anywhere in that muscle is where you may feel it. So if you feel a contraction, you're definitely going to call your doctor. You're not going to do like they do on sitcoms that are like, oh my God, I have contractions. The doctor says then I should wait for them to be less than 10 minutes apart. I don't give a shit what your doctor says. You're going to call the doctor and give them a heads up, because with a multiple birth pregnancy, we do not mess around. Okay. So that's the number one. The number two is back pain. Now, weirdly, everybody's like, who doesn't have back pain, right? But I'm talking about level 10, excruciating, rip your eyes out, saw your leg off to just feel something other than this back pain. That's the back pain we're looking for. So if your baby is presenting and they're coming out sunny side up and the back of their nice little hard skull is sitting on your tailbone, which curves in, you're going to have some epic back pain. Okay. So that's back labor is what you may heard about it. Like you may have heard that term. So if you feel epic back pain, you call the freaking doctor. Okay. If your water breaks or you lose your mucus plug. So if your water breaks and you're like, wow, it looks like somebody just squeezed a Poland Spring water bottle and it's shooting out or trickling down my leg, definitely call the doctor. If you go to pee and you look in your underwear and it looks like slime, then that's your mucus plug. And mucus plug could look like, let's say you took 2 single ply Kleenex tissues and you put it under water and you throw it against the wall. That's kind of what it looks like. It's like a weird little pluggy, it's slimy, but it is literally a cork that's holding all of your amniotic fluid in. And so once we lose this, that means that if fluid starts coming out, and why we worry about it is because if fluid's coming out, then germs could get in. And so it's not just the issue of losing the water, it's also creating or giving them, putting yourself in an environment that's going to be as sterile as possible so that germs can't go up. Okay. If you have any type of discharge, I do not care what color it is. I am going with white, red, purple, green. I don't care. Any type of discharge, you're calling the doctor. And bonus points, you take a picture of the discharge before you even call the doctor. All right. So a lot of doctors would be like, oh my God, what did it look like? And you're like, I don't know. It was slimy. It was pink, blah, blah, blah. Just take a picture. If I had a nickel for every cracked nip picture that I have on my phone right now, I would be retiring. Okay. It is not weird to send pictures to your medical professionals that you're working with when it comes to that, because it gives us the exact visual of what we're talking about. Right. So even I always use nips because I'm not getting a lot of mucus plug pictures, although once upon a time I did. But if we did, I would say you got to like show this to the nurse. Right. So if you were even wearing a pad, show that to the nurse. You don't have to bring that pad with you. But the same thing goes for baby's poops. If your baby's pooping weird, take a picture of that poop and then show it to the doctor. So you could be like, it's weird. It's got this streakiness. It's kind of slimy. It looks like spider webs, whatever it is. Okay. People read poops the way that psychics read tea leaves or whatever that is. Like it tells us a lot. The discharge, the poops, it all gives us a clue on what's happening. So any type of discharge, you're going to take a picture. Okay. So the other things I want you to be on alert for, if you have any vision changes and you're like, Nat, what the hell are you talking about? How does this have to do with labor? It does. It has to do with high blood pressure. But if you have any types of vision changes, if you have sudden headaches, if you have swelling that you're like, oh my God, my face is so puffy, my hands are so puffy, what the heck is happening? If you have epic itching and rashes, you call your doctor. These all mean things to us, right? So I'm thinking preeclampsia, I'm thinking PUPS, right? If you guys don't know what PUP syndrome is, it's basically this whole issue where your skin starts to riot and whatever. Save that for a different day. We do have an entire episode of a podcast about it, though, if you're interested. But any of that, you got to tell your doctor. If you haven't peed in 12 hours, you got to tell your doctor, we have a kidney issue. If you're drinking the amount of water that I'm telling you that you need to drink, which is, by the way, close to a gallon or as close to a gallon as you could get a day throughout the day. Obviously, don't sit there in one sitting and drink a gallon of water. But if you're not peeing, you got to call your doctor. We got to see why your kidneys aren't functioning the way that they're supposed to. If you feel no movement of one or either, you call your doctor. Okay. And literally, I can't tell you the amount of this is the biggest one is the no movement, is that I want you to hear my voice in your head that says, would Nat tell me to call? The answer is yes. Nat's going to tell you to call, because when in doubt, bother your doctor. That's what they're there for. I would rather you overreact 100% of the time than underreact once. That's literally what I want you to hear. I'd rather you overreact 100% of the time than underreact once. Drink that in for a second. Okay. So if you feel any of these things, you call your doc. But weirdly, I will tell you, I cannot tell you how many twin moms have said, I just didn't feel right. No headaches, no mucus, no discharge, no cramping, no nothing. They just felt off. Before we had Dr. Google and everything else, your grandmother would just say, how do I feel? I want you to channel that. And I want you to go back to basics. If you do not feel right, I want you to still call your doctor. Okay. I know that sounds crazy, but trust me when I tell you, that's what I want you to do. All right. Here are your dates. Okay. The dates that I need you guys to write down are May 12th. We have the Twin Ready Registry, which is so much fun. That's all about stuff. So it's not as serious and I'm not as dramatic. I'm still dramatic. I don't know whom I'm kidding. May 26th is our boob camp. That definitely, I want you guys to be there, and we're going to send you links to register for all of this. June 2nd is our babies on a budget. If you're like, how the hell are we going to afford these babies? You're going to take that class with me, because we're going to tell you how and what we need and how to save and the important documents that you have to have. So babies on a budget is going to be June 2nd. And then June 9th is our twin sleep school. Okay, so getting them all to sleep. These are all classes or available to you, all free, nothing to stress about. But these are the dates that I want you guys to put on your calendar so that you join me. I'm teaching everything. I don't teach the sleep school. Lauren teaches that. The baby's on a budget. I'm with Dan because honestly, I hate finances. So I make Dan teach most of it. And then I'm there too, though. Okay, so those are your important dates. All right, now our twin birthday preferences. Back to our delivery day workbook. And let me find the page that I need for this. Yep, here we go. So twin birth preferences worksheet. It's literally a document that you and your partner sit on the couch and you're like, okay, who do we want to be there that day? I hope the answer is literally no one. Is that horrible? One of the best parts of the pandemic was that my Papa Bears stepped up because mother-in-laws and grandmas weren't there. So in my world, you only have people that are comfortable, that you are comfortable with if they saw your boobs. Because those are the only people that I want there. Your boobs are going to be out pretty much 24/7. So are you cool if your father-in-law has some boobs? By the way, guys, Shannon just moved and now she has the most beautiful virtual background. And I encourage all of you to go someplace beautiful like Shannon is right now. I really like it. I'm into it. So yes. But I did notice that and it looks so fun. So know that whoever's coming, could they see your nips? If they can't see nips, they should not be invited. All right. I want your boobs to be out. I want you to be comfortable. The next thing that's on there is if let's say hypothetically, the twinnies have to go to the NICU. Do you want your partner staying with you or do you want your partner going with the babies? The time to discuss that is not during labor and delivery. Okay. So you really do need to make sure that you have your birth preferences lined up. All right. So literally, if you scroll to the top of the chat, you'll see the 50% off link. If for some reason, like literally, guys, if you cannot afford it, you just text us. You just say, Nat, like legit, I can't do it. My finances are too tough. I can't do the $13 or whatever it is. I will happily send it to you for free. Just email us at community@twiniversity.com. So, like, for whatever reason, if you can't do it, I don't want you to not have the same information. If you can do it, namaste. Thank you so much. We will take all the money because this is how we pay it forward. So this is one of the ways that we monetize so that we could keep doing our free classes. But the other things are, right? Who will be there? That's the big one. Comfort measures are the other. Are you somebody, excuse me, who doesn't like medication? Are you somebody who hates that feeling about with being loopy? And comfort measures could also mean, do they have a doula in labor and delivery? Is there a midwife that could coach you through the majority of your labor before the doctor comes in? I would be thrilled if that was the case. Like, we don't need a doctor to do much, to be very honest with you. But if there was a doula on staff at the hospital or there was a midwife that could really give you a lot more comfort measures, that's what we're looking for. But if you're somebody who's like, I hate medication, or I know that I don't like feeling like trapped, right? Like, I like to be free. Find out, can I walk around? How much monitoring do you need? These are all questions that are on your birth preferences work plan. Okay. And then my favorite one of this is make a birth playlist. It is the easiest thing that you could do. And it's one of the most fun. You're going to listen to this playlist for, I would say, at least the first 5 years. It's going to be your new playlist. Make it available to all of us, by the way. Share it with me. Like, if it's on Amazon or Spotify, like, share it with me, because I will definitely listen to it. And I'll be like, oh, my baby's going to be born to this. But it's one of the easiest things that they could do. Even if you delivered in an OR, they could play your baby's playlist in the background, which is a comfort measure onto itself. I love music. I don't know if I cannot be the only one on the planet, because music, I understand, is fairly popular. But it really comforts me. And there's songs that take me out of my own head, right? So the song Lovely Day, like, it's good, lovely day, like, that song will bring me out of the worst mood in the world. Make a playlist of all the songs that do that for you. Maybe the song that when you met your partner for the first time and it was playing in the background, or a concert that you went to together. Put all of that together for your babies. It's one of the simplest things that you could do. And it definitely could be played during delivery. Okay. Yes, I will get you that code, Jose. Jose and Jenny, if you go to the top, you will see that it's already up there. I already put it in before the class even began. All right. So now, advocating for your twins. I took this out. It used to say advocate for yourself and your twins. And this is something like, this is why I want you to take the Twiniversity class, and I want you to take it with your partner. Because we say, how many of you have literally heard, you have to advocate for yourself? You have to advocate for yourself, right? We all hear this shit. It's bullshit. You don't have to advocate for yourself. You just had two humans. Somebody else has to advocate for you. It cannot be 100% you. Like, literally, I was taking, what do you call it? Taping a podcast? That sounds good. And I just said, what the hell have I been saying for 15 years? And I'm teaching people how to advocate for themselves. Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Somebody else has to do it for you, for God's sake. So you're going to teach your partner this acronym. Okay. The one thing you're going to take away, and you're going to be like, babe, I took this class today. It was at 1:00. I know you couldn't make it. Good for you. I had so much fun. It was wonderful. You're going to say, babe, on delivery day, you got to use your brain. I know you don't use it any other time. God bless you. I don't choose you for your smarts. I choose you for your good looks. And that's why you're the trophy partner that I choose, right? It's all of our partners. But I want you to realize, brain, if during the day of your labor and delivery, something happens and you're not sure like how to handle it, right? Correct, Christy, but you do have, somebody has a partner. Your partner doesn't have to be your life partner. It could be your mother. It could be your sister. So that's why I always use the word partner, because literally our partner is I'm hoping it's your mom, or I hope you have Pam from accounting, but I don't want anybody to be alone on delivery day. I want somebody advocating for them. Okay. And I have Chrissy, if you are single by choice or not, whatever, we have a ton of single families at Twiniversity for many multiple reasons. So you're going to tell who's ever there with you on delivery day, they got to use their brain. If something happens, the babies need to go to the NICU. That's an easy one. They have to go to the NICU, but they need to have a procedure done, or you need to have a procedure done. What are the benefits of that procedure? What are the risks of that procedure? What are the alternatives to that procedure? What is your intuition telling you regarding this procedure? And what if we just did nothing? This is an acronym that not only do I want you to use it for labor and delivery, but I want you to use it for the rest of your life, whether it's work, whether it's medical, whether it's literally you're just in a supermarket. What are the benefits of buying this cereal versus another? Literally, use your brain all the time. But the thing is really, we don't ask enough questions, and you have to have somebody there advocating for you that day, because you're not going to be like literally pushing a baby out and then say, what are the benefits of this? No, you have too much to do on that day. So whoever it is, please make sure that somebody is going to advocate for you on that day. What are the benefits? What are the risks? What are the alternatives? What's your intuition saying? And what if we literally did freaking nothing? What happens then? Okay. All right, moving along. You're going to all go to recovery. I would love in recovery if your babies get to stay with you, but you're going to ask on your hospital tour or during the virtual tour or look up online, can the baby stay with you in recovery? If they can, of course, I want you latching quickly. We'll talk about that during Bootcamp, but these are the important things when it comes to recovery, okay? They're going to tell you that you could take pain X amount of hours. They're going to be like, oh, you could take Tylenol, you could take Advil, right? A lot of times people take the Tylenol and take the Advil, but they take it at the same time, and I'll never quite understand why. We want to stagger any medications so that we don't have any breakthrough pain. So if they're like, okay, we're giving you this heavy duty pain medication and you could take Advil and you could take Tylenol, I want you to stagger it throughout the entire day so that you are actually comfortable. Okay. Because if you're comfortable, one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to walk. And walking, believe it or not, is a big part of recovery. I know you're not going to want to walk. You're going to be like, my guts are going to fall right out onto the floor. I promise you, they will not fall out onto the floor. You will be okay. But the sooner that you could get up and move and get some of that medication out of your body that you may have had, like if you had an epidural or any additional medications, magnesium, it depends on what you were given at the time. But the sooner that we could get it out of your body, the better that you're going to feel. Okay. So you can't get up until they tell you to get up. So don't just be like, I'm going to get out of bed, and then you drop to the floor because your epidural is still in effect. Please don't do that. Please wait till you have permission, and always have a medical professional next to you, ideally a nurse. Sometimes it's a physical therapist. Sometimes it's just a candy striper on the floor that has permission to do that. But know that I do want you to get up and walk around. I also want you to drink a shit ton of water. All right. You got to drink a lot of water after delivery. Now, funnily enough, they're going to require that you urinate within 6 hours post-delivery. This is the timeline pretty much anywhere in the world. And the reason is that they don't want all that pressure backing up onto your bladder because your uterus is still trying to heal. So we don't want you getting a UTI. We want no problems. We want everything good in your nether regions. Now, interesting, they want you to pee, but if you had a catheter because you had an epidural, that catheter was taking out all your pee, which means that now you need a free refill. So you got to drink some water. You got to drink some ginger ale. You got to drink some cranberry juice. We have to fill up the system so you could pee, so everybody could chill out. Okay. So drinking your water is important. It's also important to have a good post-birth meal. Now, for everybody that's not delivering in Australia, right? We do have to plan, like, truthfully, a Chipotle burrito, like a steak and black bean burrito with the extra guac, spring for it. You deserve it. You had 2 babies. Like, that's actually a really good post-birth meal. I want high protein and I want high fiber so that when you do go to the bathroom, if you had any stitches, I don't want it to hurt. So high protein, high fiber post delivery. They're not going to be like, hey, what would you like to eat? They're going to be like, here's a broiled chicken leg and a piece of broccoli, the same that everybody in this hospital got. When in reality, you are not the same as everybody in that hospital. You are a new mother that has different nutritional requirements, yet we are not offered a different menu. So you may have to Uber Eats something for yourself. You may have to have your mom bring something from home. Your Pam from accounting bring something from outside. But people who do come and see the babies, everybody's like, tell us what you need. Tell us what you need. You literally have to tell them what you need because they will bring it to you. And a post-birth meal is a really, really good one. I need you to eat like so that you could pass gas and have a bowel movement because they're going to want you to do that before you're discharged. Okay. If you have to bottle feed, it is 1,000,000% okay. For all of you that want to exclusively breastfeed your twinnies, I'm in. I hear you, but I raise you if they need to have a bottle so you could literally have a second, give them the bottle. You are not going to not breastfeed for their whole lives if you gave them a bottle in the beginning. Okay. And I do seriously recommend that everybody has a bottle with them and not in your hospital bag, but you have some that are at home. I really humbly will tell you, Dr. Brown's, I even have the hand pump behind me. Dr. Brown's bottles with a preemie nipple is what I would love for you to have in your home. Those are my favorite bottles. They're the easiest to go from breast to boob. It's just flawless. But you definitely need bottles, even if you're planning on exclusively breastfeeding 100% of the time, because twinnies are twinnies. And you may be able to only put one to breast because you're not feeling that great. So then the other one could get bottle fed, or maybe both are going to get bottle fed and you're going to pump just because you need a minute. You feel touched out. You don't feel okay. It's okay. I am telling you, as like boob queen of the world, you will be fine. I have plenty of babies, especially if your babies are born with a higher than typical bilirubin, or maybe their glucose is a little bit crashing. They're going to have to be bottle fed, and that is fine. They're going to be okay. I promise you, they're going to be okay. Okay. But have some bottles in the house, even if you're planning on exclusively breastfeeding. I'm fine with that. But remember, we need bottles for your own breast milk as well. And that's what my kids used is Dr. Brown's. They are the gold standard. And pretty much anybody will tell you that. That's not a Twiniversity trade secret. That is, I believe that 30% of the bottles in the United States are all Dr. Brown's bottles. And if you use them for your first kiddos before, just buy new nipples. Those bottles are totally fine. Or you could buy a shit ton of bottles on Facebook Marketplace and just buy yourself new nipples. So no, there's always a way to save some money. Okay. Okay. Now, your first introduction to your twinnies, because I know that we're nearing the end of our class soon. So I want to just cover up this last stuff. But when you guys are all united, whether it's in recovery, whether it's in your postpartum floor, go slow. There is no rush. You have an entire life to be with them. Go slow. Do not try to tandem breastfeed so quickly. All right. If this is your second set of twinnies, and if anybody is having their second set of twinnies, pop it in the chat. It is not that uncommon. Don't get scared, but you are playing with fire from here on out. If you had organic twinnies, just know it might happen again. We have a Twiniversity team member right now that's expecting her second set. I don't think she's with us today. So go slow. There's no rush. Okay. It's okay to ask for help. So you ask for help from the nurses, you ask for help from the doctors, and you ask for help from the lactation people. But in the hospital, everything is covered and people are pretty much at your beck and call 24 hours a day. Take advantage of that. When you get home, you will not be able to press a Jeopardy buzzer for medication. You will not be able to press a buzzer to have a nurse come in the room within seconds. So take advantage of that. Please, I beg you. Okay. The next thing is, it's okay if you're nervous. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody. I don't know what I'm doing. I will tell you right now, the sooner that you realize that everybody is just winging it in life, the happier you'll be. Whether it's the CEO of Fortune 500 companies or a mom with 6 kids, everybody is winging it. This class, I'm not really winging it. I really do know what I'm talking about. So you could trust me on this one. But when I was raising my kiddos, and like even now, when the kids have a problem, and I'm like, listen, I never parented 20-year-olds before. So we're all learning on the fly. What do you want me to tell you? If I had a nickel for every time I said that to my kids, like I've never had 7-year-old twins. So maybe we should work on this as a family, whatever this crisis is that we're getting through. It is okay to just wing it. You just got to get through that day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Who gives a shit about yesterday? You're just getting through till 5 a.m. That was literally, I waited every day till the news program came on and the 5 a.m. If any of you were early birds, I weirdly am perpetually an early bird now. I don't know what happened, but it's literally, I just had to make it to 5 a.m. I did not care whatever happened. And as soon as that happened, I knew that I got a fresh start. The sun will rise every day, and we have another opportunity to kick the day in the ding ding. And that's what I say to my kids every day. Kick this day in the ding ding. Literally. I literally got a text from my child this morning telling me to kick this class in the ding ding, which I thought was pretty cute. So literally, you will be okay, but it's okay to be nervous. If your twinnies go to the NICU, well, I could literally teach an entire class on NICU. The one biggest piece of advice I will tell you is use the people that are on staff there. Don't call your pediatrician that you interviewed to see the babies while they're in the NICU. You use the hospital staff while your kids are in the NICU because they are there with your kids. The pediatrician is only going to come before office hours and after office hours at best. You're never going to be able to really talk to them other than on the phone. If you use the staff pediatricians, the staff neonatologists, you're going to be able to get there to see the babies and be like, Dr. Green, what's going on? Tell me what happened last night. Okay. Also in the NICU, you could ask for a primary nurse. I will tell you, a lot of people don't know that if you had one nurse that you loved, you could be like, listen, could we have Liz again tomorrow? They will always try to accommodate you. And that way you have that continuity of care. Liz saw the same twinnies every single time. You saw her every day. 20 years later, I still speak to my primary nurse at the NICU, but I also still speak to my OB. I'm a weirdo. I can't even see my OB anymore, obviously. She's only an OB. But weirdly, I will tell you, use the staff people so you could always see them, okay? And the next thing is please, I beg you, read your freaking discharge orders. Nobody reads them. Nurses come in and they're like, okay, here's 900 things. Blah, 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 goodbye, get out. And you're like, what? When you get home, go through all those pages. See what it tells you about how much the baby should be drinking a day. Did they give you a number? Did they tell you that your babies need extra calories? Did they tell you that your hemoglobin is in the garbage and that you need to take more iron? Read everything on those discharge papers. Okay. Hemoglobin is a huge one. Red blood cells, iron. If you're iron deficient now, kids, it doesn't get better after delivery. Okay. So you have to pay attention to all that stuff now, but everything is on those discharge orders. And then also you're going to want to make sure that they're not going to be digital. Okay. So just take a picture of all your discharge orders, scan it or something so that you have them, because the pediatrician that you choose, like the real pediatrician that's outside, is going to need a copy of those discharge orders. And honestly, I work in a pediatric office 3 days a week, or really now 1 day a week. I just kind of semi-retired from there so I could spend more time with you guys. But working there, if you could send the discharge orders to your lactation consultant before your visit, we love that, because then we don't have to ask you all of those questions. So try to get a digitized copy for yourself of all your discharge orders. Okay. All right. Now, these are all the things that we have at Twiniversity for you. So if you're like, what do I really have? No, I am not kidding you. When I have spent the last 16 years of my life making sure that you specifically have a better experience than I did. I do not kid you. Like, honestly, Twiniversity should totally be a nonprofit, because we are not in this to buy our kids Maseratis. It is so that you have a more fulfilling experience as a parent. So we have a week-to-week pregnancy timeline. Literally, we have it on YouTube, and we have it on our website, and we have it in email. So we could get you all that information. We have a monthly membership meeting every single Monday. We have every single second Tuesday, I'm lying to you, of the month, we have a membership meeting. You bring any problems, lactation, sleep, issues with you want to murder your partner, your neighbor is driving you crazy. We don't care what it is. If there's something that's stressing you out, let us help you with it. We want to help you with it. Please let us help you. Okay. for YouTube. We have a whole thriving YouTube channel with over 20,000 subscribers, which we remember we're 3% of the population. So my 20,000 on YouTube is friggin' magnificent. We have an Etsy shop. If you're like, I want stupid stickers for my laptop, guess what? That's what we do in our free time. We're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? SHIT. And then literally that stands for something. Go look on our YouTube channel. I mean, on our Etsy store. We have a baby safety class. If your hospital isn't allowing you the opportunity to take a first aid class, everyone needs to take an infant first aid and CPR class. We put it together for you guys. We did it during the pandemic because hospitals literally were like, we can't help. So we picked up the pages and we did a lot of stuff during the pandemic that other people didn't. So we got that covered. We have a whole multiple births discounts page. There is companies that offer coupons just to us at Twiniversity. So before you buy anything directly, like let's say you're going to go to Graco or Evenflow or whatever, go to our website first, look on our multiple birth discount page. Is there a coupon code for you? Use that code because that's why. And the funny part is a lot of the coupon codes, or I would say 99% of the coupon codes on that page, when we negotiated with that companies, like, you know how people like influencers get like affiliate commission? We opted for no commission so you could get a bigger discount. So know that those codes on that page are like the best that you're going to find, hopefully. We have our podcast, and then we have a whole page that's all double stroller reviews. So any stroller you're thinking about buying, we already touched it. I tried to break it. I may have tried to sit in it. I may have had my 18-year-old kids in it at the time, but we put it through its paces in an independent way. To this day, you cannot pay me for a good review. I don't know if you get that vibe from me, but I have not sold out in this entire time, and I will never be doing that because at the end of the day, it's my loyalties are to you, to nobody else. That's it. Not to a brand, not to an agency, not to a company. My loyalty is to you, and I vow to you right now, Twiniversity will always have your back, 100%. Okay, what else do I have here for you? Oh, and the biggest thing that I could tell you, don't blink because you will miss it. The picture at the top, you could see from the brown hair, that was actually my real brown hair. That's the color it really was, but that was me in the NICU. So my babies were still in the NICU. And if you look really closely at my lap, you could even see that my kids were still attached to wires. My daughter had a feeding tube. Like, it's kind of crazy. Also, yes, I have a ginger. I don't know either, guys. It's really as confusing to me. I don't get it. I don't know where it came from. My husband is half Puerto Rican, half Irish. So she's a Mulroney is really what she is. I don't know how I got her, but that was still confuses me to this day. But I have the best freaking kids in the world. And if my kids weren't mine, I would be jealous of who they belong to. And that, to me, is success. That is no matter what I do in my life, no matter how many books I sell, no matter how many classes I teach, I will tell you that the way that I feel successful is seeing my kids thrive. They are the best investment I have ever made in my life. I have no regrets of working less and taking a significant, like I did not work. I stopped working, which living in New York City with a single income was not easy, but I wanted to be home for them. So we did the math. And then I started Twiniversity the day that they went to kindergarten. And it wasn't to start a business. I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I really just did it because I'm like, why the hell is nobody talking about this shit? I'm still confused about that. Now, here's the coupon code again. So this is our classes. This is 50% off the on-demand class. That was also about 40 pounds ago, giving you a heads up on that. When you're like, Nat looks much fluffier now. I'm not swollen. I'm just overweight and I'm okay with it. I'm living my best life, guys. I'm doing it. So yes, so just know that that class is still timely. Everything is still there. We're going to be redoing the entire class soon, but know that we have 50% off just for you guys that are here with our live class. And then finally, this is what you want to zap. Okay. So you could even go, to our Insta page right now, but we have a grand prize giveaway and it's over $7,200. We do this every time that we have a boot camp, but know that you will get a baby trend wagon. You'll get a Bretza washer dryer sterilizer, which is unbelievable. You'll get it's not a bottle maker. It's actually just gives you the water from Dr. Brown's, but you'll get crap ton of Dr. Brown's bottles, and you'll have a whole Twiniversity set up. So you'll get copies of both books and access to all of our classes just for winning. So literally, no cost, no nothing. You go to Insta, you do whatever the girls say that you have to do. I don't even know what they want you to do, but jump through their fiery hoops. It'll be totally worth it. And then once again, I am forever grateful to our partners at Twiniversity, because my goal is to just educate you guys. And if the only way that I could do it for free is by working with those amazing people, which truthfully, out of the industry, really some of the, like, they are very, very high regarded and respectful. We don't accept unsolicited proposals. We don't work with partners that we wouldn't work with ourselves. And know that me, Amanda, and the rest of the team, we only work with companies that are going to benefit your life, not somebody who could write us a check. That's not how we roll here. So know that forever, I will always take care of you. And sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you for joining me today. Like, I'm just so humbled. The fact that so many of you took time out of your day to come give a better life to your kids, that if you are ever wondering, if you are sleeping, if you are falling asleep at night and you're worried about being a good parent, don't. You already give so much of a crap that you literally took this time out of your day to come make your first experience better. And realize that's the type of person you are. I'm not shitting on people who don't take classes, but I'm saying you're already that type of person that's putting the cart before the horse to get prepared. And I have a lot of admiration for that, because hell, I friggin' created a whole company because of that. So the thing is type A to type A, stand up and be proud. That's how we roll. Okay. But anything that you need, just email us at community@twiniversity.com. I look forward to seeing you at our next class, which will be our registry class. And then I cannot wait to play with you for Bootcamp. But if any of you want to set up a prenatal visit for breastfeeding and you are in Aetna or United Healthcare or have out-of-network benefits, there is no cost sharing, by the way. And know that for when it comes to lactation, there is no cost sharing. There's no copays. There's no cost sharing. And it is literally federally required that every single insurance company within the United States has to cover lactation care. They do not have a choice. Okay, kiddos? All right, guys, I'm stopping. I'm pressing stop on